And this is the ETBU Coaches Show. I'm Marty Robinson, here with head men's baseball coach, Jared Hood. And, of course, baseball season is just around the corner. And I want to get a quick update with you, Coach, a quick preview, actually, if you will, about the upcoming season. Great to have you on the first show of 2019.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a while. We're facing some cooler weather right now and a little bit wetter conditions, but we'll get through it. And it wouldn't be baseball season if there wasn't a little bit of rain. So we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely excited with the season coming. It's just around the corner for you guys. You started practices now, but the thing I kind of want to talk about a little bit is kind of that process between you guys ending at the end of April and then have to wait for about 9 to 10 months or so to finally get back into some real action. So what's that process like for you? Is it kind of tiring having to wait all that time? Or
Well, there's a lot of, a lot of thoughts that go through and a lot of reflection, after getting bounced from the conference tournament and having, a pretty decent season. If you think about it, we only lost 2 series, throughout the entire season. Mm-hmm. We won all the other series, at least took 2 out of 3 from every opponent. So once that happens, you kind of go back and you reflect on things that you can do better, things that you want your team to do better, and continue to recruit and to go throughout that and try to find guys that can continue to take you the rest of the way. And so it's been a very long off season, lots of changes as far as player personnel. We brought in a pretty big recruiting class, a lot of nice, young, talented kids to come in and hopefully win spots. And if they can't win them, to hopefully push those returners and compete and create that internal competition. So, really it started in fall ball this year. When we came back, started up in September, continued to implement our system and just see our kids play, to get out there, and had a really successful fall campaign. Able to get a lot of things done. And as soon as you get really excited and blood gets really going into it, then it's time to stop fall ball and hit into the off season. So, which is good for us because with so many young guys, then we can get in with our strength and conditioning program, and really get their bodies in tune to what it's going to take to compete this spring season. So now with it going, and we're in the thick of it right now and getting ready for February 8th. It's exciting, and I'm glad to be back on the field. Glad to be back into really the competitive mindset with the guys, and to see us go out there and play. So it's been fun these last couple of days, and we'll continue through the rest of the week, and hopefully everybody remains healthy and ready to go.
Glad to have you back, Coach. And you have a relatively new staff. I'm going to say new staff in terms of different positions. Now you have Tanner Matthews as your assistant now. So kind of how has that dynamic been working out for you guys so far between implementing the new recruits and then having to kind of work with a new staff nowadays? So how have you handled that so far?
Well, the thing about this staff is that they're all former players, okay? And during their career, they've all each had a hand in kind of laying the foundation for the program and our success and the things that we've been able to do. So they're guys that are personally invested into the program. They're personally invested into the school here at ETBU. They understand the ins and outs of the school, what we represent, and what we're trying to achieve in Christ-centered athletics. And with that, they better have a better knowledge and understanding of when we go out and recruit, what type of kids that we're actually looking for to come in and to continue the program. So they're a younger staff, which keeps me young, and things are energetic. They're high intense. They're things pop. Just practice in the office, everything. They keep me on my toes for sure. But yeah, Tanner Matthews taking over the recruiting coordinator position and pitching coach, and he's just done an outstanding job of, just going out and just finding kids to come in and I mean, it's college baseball. You got to recruit, and you can be the best coach in the world, but if you can't bring in the kids that you need to be successful, you're probably not going to be very good. You know, Tanner's doing an outstanding job there. Cody Pierce we've brought in to help with our strength and conditioning programs, and to assist Tanner in the pitching aspects, and he's doing good. He's a high energy guy. Our guys have really gravitated to him really well as far as the off season and getting those guys their bodies developed in the baseball sense. And then our grad assistant Jordan O'Bannon, and you know, and he's doing a good job and going out and getting his feet wet in the recruiting, but all three of these guys, they relate to the team really well. They're able to hold guys accountable, but they're also able to kind of be that guy that, you know, the kids can come and talk to. So it's a really enjoyable staff, and we're having a good time so far.
Absolutely. And you have some great returners for the team this year. Zach Gardner, Seth McKeska, just a few guys to mention there, and a strong pitching unit as well. So just kind of talk to me about how some of those guys are going to kind of help continue to mold the vision for your program this year. What are you expecting from those guys outside of their play on the field?
Yeah, just the leadership in the locker room. And, you know, we've had a lot of conversation with those guys. You know, Gardner, you've got Casey Combs, he's a senior this year, Seth McKeska, you know, but also some younger guys who, in a sense, are those veteran type of players. You know, Derek Finley on the mound, Blake Corbin, Cole Florence is a big one for us. So we've got a lot of we've got a lot of experience. Landon Barnes is another guy that's in the mix. So we've got a lot of experience mixed in with a lot of the younger guys, and I think it helps, especially in the game of baseball where there's a lot of failure that you have to overcome and that you have to kind of, you know, get over. I mean, and so we've got those older guys who've all been through those situations who can, you know, relate to those guys. But hey, man, you know, just because this happened or this happened, we've got to kind of move past that. We've got to continue to move forward. But you know, this senior class, you know, if you think about their, you know, during their 4 years here, I mean, they will be one of the most winningest classes that come through the program. Yeah. And for them, that's not by mistake. I mean, it's because those guys, they work and they hold their teammates accountable. They hold themselves accountable. So it's their year, you know, and that's been my big message to them is like, hey, we can be as successful as you guys want to be, you know, but you know, the big thing is that they've got to take ownership of that, and so far they're doing that. I mean, we've had an outstanding offseason. The leadership from those guys, you know, Dylan Sumter, he'll be back this year as well. You know, and so we've got a lot of different personalities trying to lead a bunch of other different personalities, and it's just been a really, really good mix so far. This team's a really, really just a joy to be around, you know. And you never want to predict how many games you're going to win and stuff like that. And you know, in baseball, you need a lot of luck, you know, to be successful, I believe. But, you know, regardless of what happens, this team's going to get after it. They're going to play hard. And when teams do that, and you can genuinely see the love for the game that they have, but also the love that they have for their teammates, it just makes it just really enjoyable to be around. And when we're on the field with this group, it's a lot of fun. It's very high energy, and it's good to see.
Definitely looking forward to it, Coach. And one of the things that I was kind of interested in asking you about as well is kind of what is the overall theme this year? What are you guys kind of trying to build toward in terms of a theme just for this season?
Yeah, for us, it will and always will be just, you know, the sense of family. You know, the kind of what we're going towards is, you know, we want to have a style of baseball that doesn't necessarily represent who we are as people. Okay, on the baseball field, you've got to be a savage, you know. And what we're talking about with the kids is we want to play savage baseball. We want to get after it. We want to be high intensity. We want to be high energy. The intensity out on the baseball field, intensity a lot of time is undefeated. Okay, you know, but you know, it's really just a focus on ourselves. You know, if we're controlling everything that we can do day in and day out, and how we play and how we approach the game, and not necessarily who's walking into the gate to play against us, then we're going to be in pretty good shape. So with that, along with the family type of atmosphere that we're trying to create, that's really what these older guys have kind of instilled. So with that, you've got the loving, caring part, okay, but then you've also got the high intensity competitive part. And when you've got those two together, and when they tend to intertwine and intermix together, some really, really cool things can happen. So it's a good group. It's an exciting group, and I'm just anxious to see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. And last question for you here today, Coach. So February 8th, you're going to be here at home for first game of the season. Are you guys kind of anxious for that? Have you been looking forward to that? Have you circled that particular week on your calendar so far?
Yes and no. I mean, we've got a long way to go to get ready to play, okay? We're doing a lot of competitive aspects into our practice plans and stuff right now, but as far as the X's and O's of the game, we've got to touch up on some things, and the guys understand that. And also we've got to figure out who's going to be our guys. The most exciting thing for me, but also kind of the most nerve-wracking thing, is we've got probably 10, 11 different combinations of lineups and things that we can do, and places that we can put people. If we were to start this weekend, I'd have no idea how I was going to ride a lineup. And for me as a coach, that's really exciting because you've got a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things. But at the same time, right now, our biggest competition is ourselves. And we have got to learn how to compete within ourselves before we try to go out and compete against somebody else. So yes, it's circled in the fact that, we've got to get it figured out by that time. But as I mentioned to you, the biggest competition we're going to find is within this program. When we hit that mark of when we have to go out and play somebody else, we're going to be ready.
All right, thank you, Coach. And this has been the ETBU Coaches Show with head baseball coach Jared Hood. We'll be back on this YouTube channel with more coaches, more shows, more previews, more updates. Thanks for supporting ETBU Athletics.